Good morning, I'm Alyssa Kozak. According to a study by Pew Research Center, 1 out of 10 adults have used an online dating site or app, and that number is continually growing. In 2013, 53% of internet users agreed that online dating allows people to find a better match for themselves. But the biggest question is, how can you be safe online? To help answer that question and many more about online dating, social media guru, Emmy Award-winning creative producer, director, writer, and editor, and the founder of Puke Rainbows, Erica Hanna is joining us in just a moment. But first, let's take a quick look at a recent TED Talks video about the truth of online dating.
Online dating. We don't sign up for online dating because we want to enter a popularity contest. We sign up for online dating because we want to find someone special, someone we want to go on a date, maybe potentially enter into a long-term relationship with. So the real question we should be asking ourselves is not what makes us more desirable, but what makes us connect more with others. Are there differences in people who actually end up finding someone special online versus those of us who don't?
So Erica, to go off of the video, can you answer the question? Is there a difference in people who do find a special someone online versus those who don't?
I really don't think so, to be honest, because I have a lot of friends that have found someone online, and those personalities between my friends range from really shy to really outgoing. So I can't imagine that there's something that's just extremely different about finding somebody online versus not.
Right. You also have 5 points for online dating, and we're going to talk a little bit about those today. Your first one is confident profiles do best. What does that even mean?
Yeah, so I would say the number one mistake most people are making, men and women both, is that the first thing that they list in their online dating profile is this admission of like guilt or shame for being online, right? Like, I don't know if this online dating thing's for me, and I just, it might not be my thing. And when you're making that first impression that someone judges you on in the very first seconds, is that the first thing that you would say to someone if you were talking to them in person? I don't know if this talking thing is for me really, but I thought I'd talk to you anyway. It's just not very impressive. So keeping things positive, keeping things confident really resonates well, because that's what attracts humans to humans.
Right. And then next you say personalize your messages. How can we personalize a message when you're talking to a lot of people online?
Yep. So that's one thing where I talk to a lot of guy friends of mine who are doing online dating, and they have a frustration, and it's warranted, that women don't message them back. And so they say, I'm just going to start copy and pasting the same message to every person. Well, maybe that's why they're not messaging you back in the first place. It's really easy to just scan through someone's profile really quick, pull out one thing, one sentence. It doesn't have to be 3 paragraphs to somebody about how you're automatically in love with them for their profile, because that's just creepy, right? Whether it's like, oh, I saw that you like traveling to Rome. I did that 3 years ago. What was your favorite place? Hey, nice to meet you. Just nice and short and approachable is the best way to go, and it doesn't take a lot of effort.
Right, and that brings us to the next point, avoid cliches. What are some of the cliches that have been used, especially like on you if you've done it, or like your friends that have participated in online dating?
Yep. I would say, again, this is kind of profile based, that you can go through, and there's a few, not a few, a lot of profiles that I could read, and I could be like, you are the same person over and over and over again. And all it says is, you know, hi, I like travel, I like sports, I like food. Well, who doesn't like travel, sports, or food usually? So the
Right.
more specific you can get, the better, because that's where you find those commonalities between the two of you.
Right, and the next topic is don't message late at night. That's a hard one for a lot of people, especially people who work all day and don't get off until 8. So how can we avoid that?
Yeah, right. So I think that my thought about what is late, and maybe you guys' thought about what is late, is different, because I'm a night owl. But I would say, especially for anyone in college, I would avoid that bar close time, right? Because there's not a lot that goes on like after, 2 o'clock that's going to be positive probably because people could be under the influence or they just, maybe are looking for different things late at night, to be completely honest. So, letting it breathe a little bit and, having some space and, not jumping right on top of every single message is probably the best thing to do because then it gives you time to really consider what you're going to say back.
All right, and the last one quickly is safety steps. How can we be safe and what are the steps that we can take?
Yeah, there's a few different things that you can do. Hopefully before you go on your first date, you'll know their name. And I'm a big proponent of Googling somebody because you never know what you're going to find out. I've Googled people before and it turns out they're married or, I have a friend who Googled someone and they were on like the sex offender registry, which can be really terrifying, right? And the other thing I would say is, I do make a practice of, and I'm a little bit overly cautious possibly, but I make a practice of when I'm on a date with somebody, I ask them to see their ID because you never know if they're lying. So, and usually if that's met with some resistance, I say, well, I mean, if you want to date me, if you want to be intimate with me eventually, I think me knowing like what your driver's license look like shouldn't be a big deal, right? The other things I would say is definitely always meet in a public place and go your separate ways after the first date because you just don't know. And always have somebody that is going to call you maybe halfway through the day or send you a text so that you can check in and say, hey, I'm okay, I'm feeling okay right now, I'll be home at X time. And that way if you're not home at X time, people go looking for you.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Erica. This is definitely an eye-opening message that will hopefully be rewarding for all online dating users.
Yay, thanks for having me.